opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the official views of Real TV, its management, or affiliates. Content is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
To all of our local, regional and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here at Real TV, where we bring reality to you. My dear friends, a very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Rupani, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy, get your pen, get your notebook. You'll need it today to take down very important numbers and information that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in Master Control, Nathaniel Reed. On behalf of the team, we'd like to wish each and every one of you a fantastic day today. Happy Friday. Now, you know, we quickly anticipate the weekend is coming and we forget to enjoy Friday. Happy Friday. It's Friday, the 7th of August, 2026. Let me gently remind you, it is a day and time we will never have the opportunity to ever have again in life. Don't procrastinate, don't waste your time. Do something productive and constructive. Let this day be the beginning of something brand new and exciting, all right? If you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours. Tomorrow is not promised, all right? So remember to be kind. Remember to say, I love you. Thank you. These things are important, all right? Let's quickly go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. And our quote says, a good financial plan is a roadmap that shows you exactly how the choices we make today will affect our future. Pay attention to this quote because it's about empowering you today and how all of your dreams can be realized. I'm going to read it to you one more time. A good financial plan is a roadmap that shows us exactly how the choices we make today will affect our future. Thanks, Nati. Let's quickly go to the ad.
Makoya, discover the all-new India in Style Expo, the exciting new chapter following Incredible India Expo. Open daily from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. opposite the Center of Excellence. Shop beautiful bridal and temple wear, jewelry, footwear, home furnishings, decor, puja items and much more. Try some of the delicious items at Zyka Restaurant and enjoy refreshing drinks from AK Juice Center. India in Style Expo, a complete Indian shopping and lifestyle experience.
Fab India Expo in Chagonas is open every day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Fresh containers have arrived with brand new stocks. Exciting new merchants have joined us, bringing a huge variety of products at unbeatable bargains. Indulge in spa services, soothing chumpy massages, and taste authentic Indian cuisine. Fab India Expo, endless variety, endless value.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. To all of our local, regional and international viewers, all those of you on Tego, the app, remember to download it. It's absolutely free. You could take Real TV with you real time, anytime, and be part of our dynamic programming. To all those of you in Canada on the Caribbean Showtime Television, thank you so much for choosing us. And today, as always, it's about empowering you. Knowledge is power. When you have knowledge, you make better choices. And today is about really allowing your dreams to become a reality. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. I'm in conversation with a powerhouse, a force to be reckoned with, no other than Mr. Roger Hutchan. And he, of course, is the General Manager of JMMB Express Finance Trinidad and Tobago Limited. Today, it's all about JMMB and you. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, whenever it comes to making dreams happen and empowering people and giving them the opportunity to live life in the now, we embrace that.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And I was listening to both the quote and the opening your opening statements, and for me it resonated because that is something that JMB holds close to. We want to be in the now. So there's always a lot of noise, there's a lot of clutter, but you need to be in the now to observe the present and make the decisions right now.
You're absolutely correct, sir. And being in the now is realizing that we all have dreams, we all have ambitions for many reasons, whether it's to educate ourselves, whether it's to get a home for our family, whether it's to get a car that will make life easier, to go on a trip. So many desires. And some of us feel, well, it's not possible, but it is now.
It is. And I think that's a very good starting point. So, and I would say, so let me premise by saying there's a lot of information out there, right?
Yes, sir.
And the internet helps with a lot of fantasies, right? So the trips, the luscious vacations, everything like that. But those are, for the most part, wants.
Absolutely.
And I do think for fundamental life that is meaningful, we need to focus on the needs. Needs are security, and security could be a place to rest your head.
Absolutely true.
It could be education for you and your children.
Yes.
It could be building that future. It could be venturing into something that you wanting to do is your passion. Those things need to be fundamentally structured in your life, and you have to have a plan. That's why we talk about financial planning, but sometimes we run away with that connotation, and it seems like this big thing that we have to do, but it's very simple.
Yeah.
Saving, planning, and just orchestrating your life. It's easier said than done, but it's simplified if you don't put a lot of clutter in there.
And that I think is what perhaps set JMMB apart.
Yes.
With regards to having that one-on-one sitting, consulting, being able to get the right financial advice into moving forward. And a lot of people are not open to that because perhaps they're not aware that the opportunities there.
Correct. And one of the things that we do, and other than our slogan, which is no fees, the information is free. So if you come in and you sit with us, you call on the phone, we have no problem in sitting down and having that conversation because sometimes you generally don't know.
Exactly. Information is power.
Yes, it is.
You know, it helps you to understand things in a different way, have a different perspective, think outside of the box. A lot of people, you have a problem, you're not feeling well, you go to the doctor. You have a legal problem, you go to the lawyer. Correct. You build in a house, you seek an engineer.
Yes.
But how many of us really realize that we need to also sit with people who are rich in content and information about finances and simply help to direct us onto the right path to make the right decisions and do what is right. And that is absolutely free.
Correct.
And that is something that is offered by JMMB. They sit, they consult, they talk, you know.
So one of the things that I wanted to kind of give you an oversight or give the viewers an oversight on is JMMB from a group perspective.
Nice.
So one of the good things is that JMMB right now it has three parts, three solid elements. So we have investment, which is run by Jeremy Lala. We have bank, which is run by Sean Moses, and we have JMMB Express, which is run by myself.
Right.
These three components help you out at different stages in your life.
Okay.
So Jeff literally is that entry level into borrowing. So if you are unbanked, underbanked, never borrowed before, just started to work, you do have some experience and you wanted to get into that lending or have experience with borrowing, we are the one that would be most suited for you.
Brilliant.
As you build financial muscle, you borrowed, you repaid in a timely manner, and you say, let me take the other step. So let me look at a little car for transport, let me look at a piece of land, or even better, a house and land. You now move on to JMMB Bank. You settle there. Even within that period of time, you say, here's what, I want to have a little nest egg. So you're putting away a little $500, $1,000 a month. And the question is, do I leave it in a bank account that, you know, gets minimal returns, or can I put that in an investment fund? And the team that we have at JMMB Investments now make sure that your portfolio continues to grow. So you may be adding to it as an individual, but it also works for you because of course you're getting a very good rate of return.
I love the fact that what you do first and foremost, yes, you consult, but you build a relationship.
Yes.
So you start and you grow. And not just you, but your family as well.
Correct.
When you make these investments, we don't often do it for ourselves, but rather for our children. So you get your children in the same space,
Yes.
so that they themselves can be empowered and grow and take advantage.
Correct.
Building a relationship with the bank, which is important.
Correct.
What I also love is that sometimes we think the bank is just about borrowing, but as you just indicated, it is also a way of teaching you how to invest.
Yes, yes, and there's a lot of products that we have, or solutions, as I like to coin them, that would allow for both from your teenagers to understand discipline and that saving methodology that you would like them to have.
Right.
Young adults that are now getting into the working world, or in the working world, are now looking for financial support
Yes.
and guidance and structure. And Jeff, for that quick response, because we know things come up from time to time.
Yeah.
And we can't always plan for everything. So Jeff is there both from a consolidation and borrowing perspective, but if there's emergency funds that are required as well. So it's a three-pronged approach. We cover all of the bases when it comes down to financial support and structure. And I believe, other than that, we are constantly on the look for solutions. As I was telling you earlier, you can list a ton of problems, but we are solution oriented, and that's what we focus on.
And that's it. You already know the root to the problems. You're trained and certified for
Yes.
that. But now it's about solutions, finding solutions, partnering with our citizens to help them to grow, to evolve, and of course to taste a little bit of success in life as well, to enjoy life as
Yes,
well.
I
You know, and
100% agree.
you're absolutely correct when you talk about empowering people, perhaps investing into land and a home, a house that you could now make a home that's yours. It's one of the biggest investments I think you make for yourselves. I always believe rent money is dead money. You can't,
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't have a choice, but the point is, now you do.
Yes, now you do. You can be pre-qualified, whether it be you and your partner, and kind of get an understanding of what you qualify for, where you fit in the financial space, and what you may need to do. Because, case in point, somebody fresh out of school or fresh out of the working world may not have the capacity to get a mortgage just yet, and that's
We
reality.
understand. It is.
However, there's a lot of things that you can do leading up to it. JMMB could help you save, invest. So when you come to get that mortgage several years down the road, you're better prepared, because you would have a nest egg, you'll have a down payment, you'll have a deposit, things that you can utilize to offset what will be the expense of that.
And that is important for people to understand, that they hold your hand and they walk you through, they consult, they advise, they can guide you. And by doing that, having that early intervention is a blessing, you know.
Yeah, it is. But one of the things that I want to speak to right now is the current state. So we talk about, we're talking about the possibilities if you look at it objectively from the start. So you're a young person, we give you the guidance, we have that conversation with you, and you follow the rules.
Follow the rules.
However, we do have a portion of our population that won't predispose to this information before.
Correct.
And therefore they would have made decisions not understanding the full gambit, and now in situations such as debts, etc. And one of the things that Jeff does really well is resets that position. So we try our best. We do it for as much as we can. And if we can't, we therefore put you in the arms of bank that could support, but really to help you with the debt management.
Knowledge is power.
So sometimes you take a credit card here, you go and get higher purchase, and before you know it, you end up with a couple $100,000 in debt. What do you do, or a couple $1,000 in debt? What do you do at that point in time when you have several payments to be made during the course of the month? What consolidation is looking at that absolute figure, putting it into one payment so you can now manage it.
Yes, and I think that's brilliant, because you could get carried away and you could get lost and find yourselves in a very challenged and compromised place, stressed out in
Yes.
having to find money and do things. But I love that aspect is that you sit, you consult, you get it all together, and you help be able to manage one.
Yes.
Rather than
Correct,
20.
a multiple.
That's brilliant.
So one of the things that, and I would say it, right, because there's no thing such as a free lunch. Consolidation doesn't come on its own and it doesn't fix the problem without you. So case in point, you can take a bunch of supplements, but if you don't exercise and do the right thing and drink water, it won't work.
Takes discipline.
Correct. And discipline means when you consolidate and you put yourself in a better position,
Yeah.
you don't run back into that position the month after.
Exactly.
So you take the discipline to focus, have this paid down, create what will be equity in your position, and then go again. I do think from both data and experience, I've seen a lot of people go back into the perpetual cycle because the patience and the discipline is not there.
Yeah.
So they fix a problem now. The problem will take a couple months or years to resolve because, of course, you have high debt. You have to pay it down to be out of that position. The minute they get a slight wiggle room, they go back into debt again, and then the cycle starts all over.
Yeah.
The discipline is very crucial when it comes down to cycling out of high debt and more into asset acquisition and those type of things. If you have high debt and just chasing it with more debt, it doesn't work for you in that
No,
manner.
it can't. You
It
put
can't.
yourself in it, you're digging a bigger hole.
Correct. That is the proverbial answer to
This is the program, Conversations with Zelisa. It's all about JMMB and you, the citizens of this land, empowering yourself financially, being able to move forward in a successful way, understanding how to deal with your finances, all right? It's a learning experience, and it's certainly going to take you to a different level and standard in life. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our deep conversation about how JMMB can help you and your family.
You need some cash. You need it now. Without the stress, we'll tell you how.
At JMMB Express Finance, there are no fees on unsecured loans from $2,500 to $75,000. That's a fact. None, not one. No fees, no fuss, no catch. Approval in 24 hours, and the funds go direct to your account. Come in or call Jeff today.
Call 2244-JEF. You need some cash. You need it now. Without the stress, we'll tell you how.
At JMMB Express Finance, there are no fees on unsecured loans from $2,500 to $75,000. That's a fact. None, not one. No fees, no fuss, no catch. Approval in 24 hours, and the funds go direct to your account. Come in or call Jeff today.
Call 2244-JEF.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Today it's about JMMB and empowering you, making that difference, having that connection to be able to consult and to educate every citizen in this country. If we don't make the right choices and decisions today, do you understand what our tomorrows will be, what our future will be? So the time is right now, today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today to make that decision. And it's about how you can be empowered, working along with JMMB. Now, there are 6 outlets: San Juan, Arima, San Fernando, Shogunas, Charlotte Street in Port of Spain, and Tobago. Yes, Tobago as well. We've included our beautiful, citizens in Tobago as well. I am in conversation with a gentleman who has a wealth of knowledge, experience, knowledge, years of understanding how to invest and finances. So he is second to none when it comes to consulting and our finances. And he is the general manager of JMMB Express Finance Trinidad and Tobago Limited, Mr. Roger Hutchen. Now, sir, when we see the ad, no fees, no fuss, no catch.
It's not just a slogan. It's not. So, and I would give credence to my predecessor, Mr. Elson James, right? He came up with the concept. We spoke about it, and I asked him if he was crazy, right? If he's going crazy, because we said no fees. But in actuality, when we looked at it, we needed to simplify lending.
Okay.
So sometimes fees, sometimes additional charges are necessary depending on the model of business that you're running.
Understood.
And that's fine.
We understand that.
For consumer finance and consumer lending, which we do, which is primarily unsecured, we believe there's a price to borrow, and we will remove all of the other, I would say, limitations, because of course all of these things add up, right? I said before, there's no such thing as a free lunch, so you'll have to pay for the admin fee, the late charges, etc. We believe our solution suggests to the client that it is fair to come to us. If you're responsible, if you're dedicated and disciplined, you can have the best option of taking a loan, repaying it, and having to get the benefit of not having all these fees and all of these nuisance charges that normally happen. Again, it's much different from some of the other financial institutions like banks, etc., that are structured differently.
Right.
But for consumer finance lenders, for me, I do think this is one of the things that Jeff did well,
Yeah.
and it continues to work for us.
Yeah, because it's important. I mean, you're absolutely correct. Sometimes the fees, which we respect, should be paid to you because you're giving a service,
Yes.
right? You've got to pay your bills as well.
Correct.
So we understand and respect that, but sometimes some of the fees you just see that and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this in itself is a loan.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't paint the right picture. It doesn't build confidence because, of course, if I give you a rate of X, and then when you look at it, the fee turns it into Y, it doesn't give the consumer or the client confidence, right? Because you're saying, well, what else is hidden? I, as an individual and as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, I don't like that feeling. So if you come to me and you come to borrow, then therefore you should know, whether it be on the contract or we're having a conversation, what you're getting yourself into.
Exactly. You should know that up front.
Correct.
With regards to no fuss, you know, from the time you hear bank
Yeah.
and the time you're talking about finances and you start to think, that in itself is intimidating to some people. You know, I'm going for a loan and I wonder if I would, and you need this loan and things like that. When you talk about no fuss, what do you actually mean?
Excellent question. So one of the things that when we started, we said, here's what. There are different types of people. So there are people that like conversations like you and I to sit down. There are people that just like to pick up the phone because they don't like to come and sit down and interact. And there are people that are techie. So they go on their phone, they do an application, and they're happy with that, right? They're not in having the whole conversation. And for me, we saw that as an opportunity to create an omni-channel experience. So you can call, you can visit, or you can go online to our website and do your application yourself if you are so inclined. So you were not limited to any one particular channel in order to do business with us.
Brilliant.
And that's the same thing that we have done, and we've taken the approach with bank and investments. There is opportunity in there to do it virtual in a sense.
Brilliant.
So that was item one in terms of fuss. The second item is that we didn't care if you came from your lunchtime, if you came just after work. Once it's within working hours, there was no appointments that was required. You come in, you sit, have the conversation. So there was no structure where you have to come in, set an appointment, because I know in myself, if I want to answer, I kind of want it now.
Yeah.
So for me to have to now reserve myself and say, well, I have to wait until 9:30 on Thursday is not necessarily what Jeff wanted to do.
Yeah.
So we changed that narrative in saying, hey, at any point in time, our doors are open Monday to Friday, and you come in and see us.
That is brilliant, you know. Because sometimes to get an appointment at the bank, it takes months or weeks. That's
and
the
it creates
reality.
anxiety too, right?
That's
So,
the reality. And you're absolutely correct. When you are in a position where you need, where you want now. It's about the now.
Yes.
It's about getting the answers now. And I like the fact that you've got many avenues. You could call, you're online, you know, you could do things, you could consult, you could go in. So you have options.
Correct. And there's a difference. So I do believe appointments and structure of that nature is required for certain business. It may work more for the bank, and that is fine because of course there's a lot of other things that you have to do. But for the consumer finance model, it's different. And I want to be able to have that conversation, reach out and touch on, as all of us do it. All of our branch heads at every location want to be able to interact with you immediately.
You know, as a customer, as a citizen, listening to this makes me feel comfortable. Why? Because you've really put aside time to invest in prioritizing on your client.
Yes.
Making that client know you are important.
Correct.
We understand how important you are, we respect that, and we are going to break all barriers to make sure that you feel inclusive. That is really awesome.
Correct. And on the other side of things that adds to the no fuss, it was literally remittances. So payment management, or being able to make your payments, or some of these things that, you know, for us pose a challenge, right? Because I know I have to leave work, come and make a payment in cash. There's a safety aspect, all of those things. So funny enough, all of our locations are cashless. So you come and you use your card if so necessary, and you could actually use it on our online portal to make your payments from there.
Brilliant.
Second to that,
Futuristic.
most of our deductions actually we automate. So once you give us the permissions, we are able to take your payments and manage it from there.
Brilliant.
And if worst case scenario, we do have outlets that you can go to, so it's convenient. Rather than having 6 locations, we now have multiple locations that you can go to through our partners to make your payments. So just trying to look at the things that created sore points and making sure that we resolve them or create a solution.
I think it's, again, thinking very innovatively with regards to prioritizing and doing everything possible to make your client, the customers, important.
Yes.
To make every effort to make life not as complicated and as simple as possible. And I applaud you for that.
Thank you very much.
Prioritizing, because the customer is important.
They are primary. So for me, when we look at our clients, we want to make sure, and again, it's also attraction, right? We do understand that not all clients are our clients or are our clients, but we do want to make sure that if you are coming to us, because of course there are different needs by different individuals, and different institutions will fit their needs, but we do have what would be a solution that will fit a vast amount of people, and we want them to get the full benefit, not just on the borrowing side of things, but on the experience from the end to end, from billing credit worthiness, from billing credit experience that allows you to now go to your next level, even if it's not a Jeff. We wanted to make sure that from end to end we took care of those things.
Brilliant. I like that you prioritize and you ensure that every customer is happy, is satisfied, and they are important. And that is what building relationships is all about. That credibility, that understanding from generation to generation will continue to invest, and it is because of the solid foundation and that rich foundation you would have, or relationship you would have built from the inception.
Yes.
That is important.
Correct. And on the flip side of Jeff's lending, we actually do take deposits, right? So if you are in the vicinity of $100,000 or up, we do look at deposits that you can come in, have a relationship, and start investing. And we do have rates that are attractive.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And I think it's also about teaching people how important it is to invest for the future. Investing in the right way.
Yeah, you can, right? So, and I've said it before, sometimes you look at saving and it comes like this big onerous thing, but it isn't. And I'll share with you a trick that I use even from a child. Don't ask me how I came up with it, So if I got $5 and I went to buy a soft drink and I would get the change, that I would consider that $5 spent. So let's say I got $2 in change, that $2 would go either into my piggy bank or somewhere where I wouldn't touch it. So that difference, so when you think about it, if you go to the shop, 3 times a week, you end up with $10. $10 by 4 weeks in a month, that's 40. You multiply that by 12, even though it's that small, it's something that you didn't have before. So it's not rocket science, it's just discipline.
It's discipline. May I ask, who taught you that?
I would say I'm self-taught. It just came into my head
yeah.
as a child because you're thinking about things and I was always want to try and save and make sure that I had enough, right? That was just something in me.
Well, I'll tell you something. That's something that my father taught me at a very young age as
Great.
well, about saving, about spending, about budgeting, about asking for a discount and things like that. And it showed me and allowed me to grow to understand the value of things and how by saving and how by using a budget and not spending while you could achieve things.
Right.
And I think that is a duty and responsibility for every parent in terms of teaching your children how to save at a very early age.
But you did say a very powerful word there, and I think myself sometimes, and if I can see it, I could see the rest of my fellow Trinbagonians also skip over that and ask, is it? It's a very powerful word. Because you would ask for a discount, you would ask for information.
I do ask and you shall receive.
But you have to ask. If you don't ask, then you're on the flip side of not knowing.
Absolutely true, sir. Absolutely true. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, and today it's all about empowering you. Knowledge is power. Now you have a better understanding about JMMB and how they can help you, how you could partner when it comes to your finances so that you could grow, you could live your dreams, you could taste success. All right, let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our rich conversation about finances, you and JMMB.
You need some cash. You need it now. Without the stress, we'll tell you how.
At JMMB Express Finance, there are no fees on unsecured loans from $2,500 to $75,000. That's a fact. None, not one. No fees, no fuss, no cash. Approval in 24 hours, and the funds go direct to your account. Come in or call Jeff today.
Call 2244-JEF. You need some cash. You need it now. Without the stress, we'll tell you how.
At JMMB Express Finance, there are no fees on unsecured loans from $2,500 to $75,000. That's a fact. None, not one. No fees, no fuss, no cash. Approval in 24 hours, and the funds go direct to your account. Come in or call Jeff today.
Call 2244-JEF.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV. Today it's about JMMB and you, the citizens of this land. Now let me gently remind you there are 6 locations conveniently located for you, and that is in San Juan, Arima, San Fernando, Shogunas, Charlotte Street in Port of Spain, and yes, Tobago as well. All right. Today I'm in conversation with the General Manager of JMMB Express Finance T&T Limited, and that is Mr. Rogers Hutchen, and sharing his wealth of knowledge and experience. Sir, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, when we hear unsecured loans, the thing is, when we think of a loan, the first thing we think of, well, I have to have some kind of security in order to qualify for this loan, and I need to get this money because I need to get this done. Explain that. How can you do it? Unsecured loans.
So in finance, there's something called risk.
Risk.
And risk tends to have different levels. So
All right.
the more secure the risk is, so if it's backed by an asset,
Yeah.
land, collateral, cash, whatever the case may be, the risk tends to be lower. When you remove the security or the collateral,
Yeah.
then the risk escalates. So what we do as unsecured lenders is look at you from a profile perspective. So a client, how long have you been working? You know, what are your current debts right now? How much of your income is in debt, or how much of your debts are in income? Those type of things. So we make an assessment based on that. Of course, lenders will have different characteristics or criteria that they will look at. But to your initial question, it's risk related. Now, you can lend somebody that either doesn't have collateral before, but it's not going to be priced the same way, and we have to understand.
Of course, you respect that.
So when we say unsecured, it comes with a price.
Understood.
Nothing is free. So therefore, if I am taking more risk, then therefore the pricing may increase as well.
And I respect your honesty.
Yes.
Up front, so we know where we are.
Right.
Brilliant. You talk about approval in 24 hours,
Yes.
$2,500 to $75,000.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
So our range is really to take care of those emergency and within within a short term, you're financing within that $25,000 to $75,000 range. We understand the market, and that volume of cash is used to do the day-to-day projects or the short-term projects. It's not your mortgage type lending.
Correct.
But it does allow you to do the things that you need to do. So back to school right now, books. Not everybody may able to take $5,000 or $4,000 out of their salary, and it may be best for them to pay it back over a 12-month period.
Nice.
You may have to fix the roof, or you may need to put in an additional room. Those things within that range could be done, and we understand that there's an appetite for borrowing regularly. So it's almost like utilizing funds on a scheduled basis. So you take it for 2 years or 1 year, you pay it back, and then you could do another project
Correct.
again. And that for me is where the unsecured side of things really does help, because you don't want to put your house on land down for $75,000 or $50,000. You want to be able to have that, and that's based on your credit worthiness. So I want to go a little bit deeper into into the credit worthiness. You build credit worthiness just like you build muscle.
Right.
By rep. So the more reps you do is the more muscle you will build. Normal gym logic, right? Your reps in this situation is repaying. So as you repay month after month, you build muscle in the financial world. So if you keep your repayments on schedule, it tells me that you're disciplined, and you've created what would be a financial muscle of discipline. So the bigger your muscle is, the better your repayment method is. If I have to, the weaker your muscle is the less you pay on time. That for me is something that a lot of Trinidadians and Tobagonians don't understand is tied to them, because it's almost like a fingerprint, right? While it's a muscle, it's also doubled as a financial fingerprint, because at the end of the day, it doesn't leave you.
Correct.
So Roger's profile will always be Roger's profile. If I pay good or I pay bad, that follows me.
Absolutely true.
Yeah?
The choices or decisions you make now will determine your tomorrows.
Correct.
Relive that. The truth is, there are people in many different situations that need money yesterday.
Yes.
Right? Many situations. What, in your capacity or in your thinking, or what would you consider priority? Because you spoke about that
Yes.
earlier on. Understanding the difference between a need and a want.
Correct.
So let's talk about the bank JMMB, and when you prioritize in terms of lending, what do you look at first?
Sure. So in terms of needs, so we're speaking to the needs of the client. Somebody wants to come in and borrow, and they're looking at, what is this need that I'm needing, I'm
Right.
trying to fill.
Right.
For me, it's something that deals with elevation. And we
Right.
want to be very careful about how we perceive elevation. Because
Yes.
for me, elevation is moving me from strength to strength, giving me more independence or the ability to be a little bit more financially secured.
Right.
That is different and could be confused with a want.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to elevate into status. I want to look, feel a particular way, and therefore I go and I spend.
Mm-hmm.
If you borrow to spend frivolously,
Mm-hmm.
you don't necessarily get the benefit of somebody that is borrowing for true financial elevation. So we want to make sure that, and I'm not saying that we can't have fun.
No, right.
A trip to Tobago, a trip to Margarita, a trip to Miami is fine, but it all is within your capacity.
Correct.
So if I am now building my wealth savings investment portfolio, looking for a house or looking for a piece of land, then everything can't be a priority at the same time.
Absolutely true.
And I'll use an example that I see regularly. If we said, you and I said, hey, we're going to build the next room, the baby's room, and that's the focal point, and we said we're going to do it with a 2-year loan, we shouldn't be complicating that with a car purchase, vacation, and all things that create even more bills at that point in time.
Well-
if you have the capacity, you can.
Well, it's like me saying, well, I want to take my daughter to Disney World, but I don't go into Miami. I want to take her to Paris to experience Disney World in
Yeah.
Paris. But then I need equipment inside of here.
Yes, correct.
You have to prioritize
Yes,
what
you
is
do.
important. And I agree with you when you say that, because it's about discipline as well. Knowing what is important, what is a need and what is a want.
Correct. And it's very simple for anyone to understand. Even the most basic of children could understand what we're speaking about. The biggest issue is the discipline.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about it now,
Absolutely
and then
true.
you see scrolling on Instagram, you see Paris, and you say, forget the equipment, let's go to Paris.
Yeah.
That for me is the difference between somebody that continues to elevate in financial success, which is somebody that's planned, focused, and disciplined versus somebody that is hopping all over the place.
Absolutely true. And what I love, and this is where you guys come in, and this role is so important, where you sit, you consult about your finances and prioritizing what is acceptable and what is not when it comes to finances.
Yes.
Putting them on the right path, and
Yes.
that is important, because a lot of people simply don't have direction when it comes to
No,
that.
and we pride ourselves on at least giving you the information. Now, I still am a believer that everybody has the right to make their own even individual
Yes,
choices.
yes.
What I can do is guide. I may not agree with your position, but at least you have the information to either change or say, no, I accept the risk of what you're talking about and I'll move ahead.
But at least now you're not ignorant. Knowledge is power. You have the knowledge
Correct.
now that you sat with a person who is an expert when it comes to finances, who could direct you, who could guide you,
Yes.
and now you have no excuses.
Yes.
Yeah? This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. It's about empowering you. It's about allowing yourself to live in the now, with partnering with the right bank. And it's about JMMB. What sets them apart is that they sit, they consult, they guide. They are there to literally hold your hand and walk you through, help you to understand how to perhaps make investments, how to make better finances, financial choices. So you're not only empowering yourself, you're empowering your children as well. You're making plans for the future by making decisions now with JMMB. So there are 6 locations, and they are at San Juan Arima, San Fernando, Chaguanas, Charlotte Street in Port of Spain, and Tobago. Take the number down. This is why I always tell you, get your notebook, Real TV, and pen. So remember to call 2244-JEFF. It's really easy. 2244-JEFF. Now, if you may have any questions or concerns at this time, you want the opportunity to speak with the General Manager, you're welcome to call us at 3847142, or you can send me a WhatsApp message. I'll read it to the manager and he will be more than happy to respond. Let's go to these messages. Remember to take in the ad because it's all about JMMB and you. Let this day be the beginning of a new you. Let this day, that first call, or perhaps getting dressed and going down to one of the locations, allowing your dreams to become a reality, putting things in place for the future of not just yourself but your children as well. Consult with JMMB. Let's go to this ad.
You need some cash. You need it now. Without the stress, we'll tell you how.
At JMMB Express Finance, there are no fees on unsecured loans from $2,500 to $75,000. That's a fact. None, not one. No fees, no fuss, no cash. Approval in 24 hours, and the funds go direct to your account. Come in or call Jeff today.
Call 2244-JEF. You need some cash. You need it now. Without the stress, we'll tell you how.
At JMMB Express Finance, there are no fees on unsecured loans from $2,500 to $75,000. That's a fact. None, not one. No fees, no fuss, no cash. Approval in 24 hours, and the funds go direct to your account. Come in or call Jeff today.
Call 2244-JEF. You need some cash. You need it now. Without the stress, we'll tell you how.
At JMMB Express Finance, there are no fees on unsecured loans from $2,500 to $75,000. That's a fact. None, not one. No fees, no fuss, no cash. Approval in 24 hours, and the funds go direct to your account. Come in or call Jeff today.
Call 2244-JEF.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. To all of our local, regional and international viewers, thank you so much for choosing us. Today I'm in conversation with the General Manager of JMMB Express Finance Trinidad and Tobago Limited, Mr. Roger Hutchen. And of course he's here to share his wealth of experience and the years he's invested into understanding finance. So he fits the role perfectly. Welcome back, sir. And I want to remind you to take the number down. Call JEFF. Write it down, but don't just write it down. Call and make that difference. 6 locations, conveniently located: San Juan, Arima, San Fernando, Chaguanas, Charlotte Street in Port of Spain and Tobago. Welcome back, sir. Now, a lot of us will looking, we're listening. How do I qualify?
Yes. So good question. So there are a lot of criteria, as I mentioned before. So of course you need to be stably employed.
Nice.
You need to be working for a decent number of years. That kind of thing. It could be from 1 to 4, as the lender would want to do.
Good.
So I'm just giving general information.
Right.
But one of the things that I wanted everybody to at least have in their head as simple math is what we term as the debt service ratio, or DSR.
Okay.
And what that is simply just putting your income. So let's use a simple figure of $10,000 a month, and your debts. So if your debts are $2,500, that's 25% of 10,000. Your debt service ratio is 25%.
Right.
If your debts are 5,000, it's 5,000 over 10,000, which is 50%.
Okay.
So in my mind, and I would want to share, I want people to understand debt versus income, and that's a good ratio, because not only for the lender but for yourself.
Of course.
Do you want 50% or 60% or even 75% of your debt being part of, well, your debt being part of your income.
Right.
And that is something you yourself have to know as a threshold. Hey, I'm good at 50%.
Yeah.
I'm good at 55. I can push it. Or I'm good at 40. You have to be mindful of those
Correct.
things and also be responsible. Both from the questions that you could also ask these questions to your lenders and see where you're at, right? How
Right.
they've evaluated where you are and what your capacity is.
Good.
Other than that, there's also the disposable income. So your disposable income is the difference of what is left after you take out your debt. So let's use, for example, your debts were 25% or
Right.
$2,500. The remaining $7,500 is your disposable income.
Right.
Now, there may be other things that come out of it, but that is the simple math for simple understanding.
Understood, and that is important.
Yes.
And so when you say, when you talk about being qualified within a certain time, now it starts from $2,500
Yes.
to $75,000. That's a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money for some people.
Yes,
for
it
some
is.
others, it's nothing. But for others, they don't even in a lifetime see that kind of money. That's reality,
Yes.
right? So let's talk about the fact that when you talk about unsecured in terms of qualifying
Yes.
for $2,500 from up to $75,000.
Right. So qualifying, I mean, we spoke about some of the criteria, but what I will want to do is go on the flip side of things and
Great.
speak to the fact that sometimes you may not qualify. Rejection is not a bad thing, at least in my book, because it
Right.
gives you understanding.
And then it gives you other options.
Correct.
Great.
So for me, it's not about, well, I didn't get through, but understanding why not.
Right.
It could be that you had bad debt from before and we needed to securitize it in order to fix that. It could be that you just don't have the capacity because your income may not be small, well, may not be good enough in order to do that, right?
Right.
Because you just started to work. It may be a type of employment. Those are the things that if you understand why, you can work towards fixing it.
Right.
Because you can't do the same thing and expect a different result. So it's very, very important to understand what is causing, even though it's not a good result, why, and then what you can do to fix it. We have no problem in explaining, even though we can't partner with you immediately. It may be a future, it may be a referral, but at least you understand why. And that is very, very important. In fact, it's more important to understand what the challenges are rather than just the success, because if you remove the challenges, then success is inevitable.
Well, I think that is absolutely a win-win, and I'll tell you why. Some people may think of it as something that is negative. I rather look at it as a positive, because what you're actually doing is giving that individual or individuals insight into really where they're at, what's going on. But what is important is that you now can guide them in other directions of how you could still help them in the future and put them on the right path. So knowledge is power, and that is what I think that is what actually sets you apart. You don't just come in and I forget you.
Yeah, correct.
No, you sit, you consult, you guide, and you say, this is what we can do for you in the future. Get on this path, and this is what we could do for you.
And again, for me, it's also being open-minded, right? Because again, as a Trinbagonian myself, sometimes we have that anxiousness that we want it now.
Yeah.
And we don't understand that it's just not that time. I am a firm believer, time and place for everything.
I am as well.
So for me, it's very, very important to say, even if the door doesn't open right away, once you understand there's the possibility. So some people come with a big idea, I need $75,000, or I need $10,000 right away because I want to make it happen. But it could be because you just are not in the position to allow that to happen. And it could be saving you from something that you can't see.
Well, exactly. It's saving you from putting yourself in even further debt or bad credit.
Correct.
Because when you don't pay the bank, it doesn't reflect on you in the future.
Yes.
You never know what is going to happen in the future, and you need to have those records clear and clean. And you're saving yourself from trouble. Correct. So it's a win-win.
It is a win-win.
What is important, Mr. Manager, for our citizens to know and understand the importance of investing in a bank, investing in JMB?
I think that's an excellent question. And for me, like everything else, this system allows you to focus on the fact of what you need as an individual to certify. It's almost like your driver's license. I could drive. I don't need a driver's license to certify that I can drive. But the banking system allows you to legitimize and certify your financial transactions, whether it be income, debts, whatever it would be. But I do think from the perspective of finding a space for yourself in the financial system, legitimizing your transactions and making sure that the world is aware of your competence from a financial perspective is what is key. And that's the reason why the banking system is very, very important.
I'll tell you this, Mr. General Manager, I must tell you, and I will tell my viewers, this gentleman, he is a gentleman. Very approachable. I feel so comfortable, you know, when you hear general manager and bank general manager, is a little line there or a little intimidation, but I must say, you are so approachable, you explain things so well, you're very gifted in that, and that is also important, that people will know that they have the comfort and they can be themselves, they can ask questions, ask and you shall receive. Yes. And that's exactly what you do, and I think that is, and I would say this based on all of the experiences I would have had with your staff. I must say, from a telephone call to actually having a one-on-one personal conversation, I'm quite pleased, and I think this is where we want to see customer service in Trinidad and Tobago. You've certainly set a standard, and I, as a citizen, as a person, appreciate that. And that is what we want, to feel important, to feel all-inclusive, not less than who we are, and be able to be open enough to ask questions, ask and you shall receive. And that is important. And I think that is what you have the cut above the rest with. Good, honest customer service. Ask, you give the answers, but you also give the answers with guidance. Yes. And that is important. So making your dreams or your problems, finding solutions, it's all about JMMB Express Finance. Write down the number 2244 Jeff. Call. Make that call, or get dressed and go down there with your husband and wife. There are things that you need to do, and you could do it now. Live it rather than just talk it or think about it or dream it, but make it a reality with JMMB Express. All right? Your closing remarks, sir.
My closing remarks is, I know at this point in time in life, and it's difficult, right? So everybody sees hardships in different ways. I do think as a people we are very resilient, and I'm not in any way, shape or form worried that we won't see the better days ahead. But we need to stay focused as a people. I'm very, very concerned that segmentation or segregation will create an atmosphere that we don't need. And it's very, very important for us to stay focused on we are Trinis and we need to stick together. Be our brothers and sisters keepers. And that is from a personal perspective. If we strip away all the financial stuff, we are still human beings that need to look out for one another.
Well said. What powerful advice.
Thank you.
I want to thank you kindly, sir, for taking time off of your busy schedule to come sit and educate us all when it comes to our finances, and what sets really make us feel a little more comfortable in understanding what JMMB Express is all about. It's about finding solutions, especially financial solutions. And that in itself, as you say, we're in troubled waters. A lot of people, you know, that's the fact at the end of the day. We can't get, yes, we are happy people and, you know, and we live life. But the point is we do have our financial challenges. Yes. And the solution could be JFFB. So please, JMMB rather, Express. Remember to call, remember to go in, consult, get on your way to solving those financial solutions. Thank you
very much.
God bless you, and I trust we'll have other wonderful conversations where we could continue to educate people about finances.
Oh, definitely. I thoroughly enjoyed it, so I have no problem when it comes back.
And more importantly, finding the solutions from JMMB Express Finance. All right, remember that number is 2244 Jeff. Really very easy. God bless you, sir. Thank
Same
you.
here.
And I
Thank
trust
you.
I'll see you
Yes,
soon.
yes.
Take care. This is where we're going to wrap things up for today, reminding you to be good law-abiding citizens, to do what is right at all times. Don't procrastinate. Don't waste. Let this day, today, be the beginning of a new and improved you for you and your family. All right? Let it be the solution. All right? Here's reminding you that with God and only God, all things are possible. I am Zelisa Budu Singh Rupani. Thank you so much for choosing us. Remember, 12 o'clock, a special edition, Conversation with Kids. See you then.